learn about your kids. It's a special group you got there.
Yeah, they really are, man. They've been with me. Some of those kids have been with me since 6th grade.
Yeah.
And I watched them grow. You know, I had a chance to actually listen to them, and I got a little overwhelmed being proud of them, because some of the very same things that I teach outside of football, today I saw it. Because, you know, we tell them all the time, man, the air is going to go out the ball. I want you to be a good human being. I want you to be able to articulate with people. I want you to be able to look people in the eye, be able to talk to them. Today, I'm not going to tell them that, but I thought they did a really good job.
Coach, first off, I want to congratulate you on a successful football run a year ago and a state championship in basketball. Ring on today, got to see the state championship trophy, so that was a cool moment.
Yeah. It's been a grind, man. You know, you want to go back to the hurricane. Our facilities aren't the greatest. The gym stood through that hurricane. But, you know, practice football field, the weight room got blown into First Avenue, the road went on. Yeah, we had a weight room back here. And we had just finished the weight room before we vacated for the hurricane. I mean, I just really put a lot of money into it. You know, Laura came and took that out. So we had to really start from scratch, man. We had a tent set up a different way. I mean, nobody would ever know what this school and what the kids that stuck around this school have gone through. And, you know, even today, we're still waiting on FEMA. You know, FEMA hadn't delivered changes of people that handled the FEMA. And, you know, I really don't know where Hamilton Christian School can go or would have gone had FEMA come through for us to rebuild this school. And the good news is we're going to stay right here. We're going to remodel and rebuild this whole school and this facility, because with St. Louis moving, we'll be the only high school within the city limits of downtown in the historical district.
Yeah. Well, Coach, let's get the $1 million thing out of the way right now. That way you can address it, let everyone know that's listening. You said you would like to address it on the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I drove up today and saw some construction going on down the road. So I asked you, I said, Coach, will the stadium even be ready for the season that's like 2-3 weeks away? And you got some news to share with us about where Warrior football will be playing this year.
Well, when they first talked about redoing the stadium, my biggest question was it going to be ready for the season?
Yeah.
And when we were told no, it was like, okay, what do we do next? So, you know, we have several local high schools here that we could possibly run out, even if we had to play our games on Thursday night. And, you know, I get it, man. You know, you've gone to someone else's facility, and, you know, they have their home games, they have middle school games, and then you got to think about teams with grass field.
Yeah.
If you're going to let me play on a Thursday night and it rains, what is your field going to look like on Friday? And what really knocked us out was LeBron began the construction of the visitor side of the stadium probably right at the end of July. And that threw a wrinkle in everything, because we've always been able to use LeBron as an alternate site. So it kind of left us in limbo. I reached out to several high school coaches, and you know, the facilities just wasn't available for us to use either Thursday or Friday. And, you know, the next thing I did was, you know, I got to think, it was kind of overwhelming. So I reached out to my buddy who you on your way to see, Coach Davis, up in Lake Arthur. I said, man, I need a favor. You know, and, you know, Coach and I are very good friends. And I said, I know you play the Friday. Can I use your facility the Thursday? He just said, Coach, I don't have a problem with it, whether it rain or not. He said, I know if it was me, you'd let me do it.
Yeah.
He was absolutely right. So the next two home games, which one is our homecoming, it reminds me of the hurricane, because we played our games in Lafayette during the hurricane season, our home game. And I picked up the phone and I called Jay Miller, Pastor Jay over at LCA. I called his AD, and once again, Jay, no problem. Just call my AD and just tell him what you want. And, you know, we're going to have to travel to Lafayette to play our other two home games. But you know what's crazy about that? The hurricane season and the relationship with Pastor Jay, you know, it's just like he's there for us again. You know, and I really, really appreciate that. And, we'll be road warriors.
There you go.
You got to play the game. We love to be in Cougar Stadium. We love to be in the city of Lake Charles. But at the end of the day, we got to play. We have to go on the road. I'm confident enough to know that our fans are going to follow. I'm confident enough to know that our kids, well, we won so many games on the road last year. Like the kids said, we were other people's homecoming. So we okay with going there.
And it is pouring outside, Coach, so we'll try to talk as loud as we can. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where did the weather come from?
I don't know, man.
I tell you what, I hope it ain't doing this week one.
No, I don't need it to be doing this week one for real.
Like last year.
Yeah,
My
last year we
goodness.
went to the country in week one, and they beat us at 34-13. But at the end of the day, weather played a factor in what we do, not what they do. And it kind of took away from us offensively, but at the end of the day, we had to play the game. They won the game. They had a great team going, have a great season, just like we did. And we moved forward and we moved past.
Yeah. District champs a year ago, you hosted a home playoff game. How do you take that next step going into this year, knowing of how many returning pieces you do have?
Well, we're not that good. I make sure they know we're not that good. I practice it like we're not that good. I practice it like we're being hunted, but we're the hunter.
Okay.
We're never going to feel like we've arrived. You ever come to practices with me or you around, I'm surprised none of them said it, you're never going to satisfy. And I'm never going to let them feel like we've arrived. It took us a long time to get to this point, to build the football culture back. And I'm not going to ever let them walk around like, we're here. We will not. We have a long way to go. We're going to continue building the culture of football. We're the same thing I did with basketball. So the day when I decided to walk away from it all, that the culture, the families that choose to come to Hamilton, not only choosing to come to Hamilton for the academic part, but for the school culture, which includes academics and athletics.
You know everyone is game planning to stop Vital this year. How important was it to have a supporting cast where they could take some of that weight off his back this year?
Well, the scariest thing about Vital is listen to him, is he really wants his teammates to have as much success. And he really knows that everybody's going for it. So the one good thing about the kid with an athlete like that, he's going to make the right choice. It's kind of like the state championship in basketball. He's not the greatest shooter. He's the kid that you can always run on the field because of what he does to the other kids around him. And my words is he's always been bold and wait for us to do. And he's always done that. So, but this year, we have other weapons, not only with Vital and Waterfall, really need to move around. It's not the shit flavor. It's like this. We have a new player coming in that we pretty good and developing him and progress. We're telling him now, why would not only become the weapon of opponent, but become the weapon of us, whether you get the ball or not.
Yeah.
Because I can assure you, all eyes are going to be on him. He's not going to do that. I got some other kids that can make plays. It may not be dramatic as he does, but I can assure you it makes
The body of work you did a year ago, going into the playoffs, did you feel like you can credit a really strong Division IV select playoff for where you landed, or do you credit it just where your schedule wasn't as strong as it normally is?
Well, it goes both ways. Division IV, regardless of the team, when you get to the second round of Division IV, you could potentially be playing the guy that the team that can extend to.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. We have one of the toughest divisions in the top 12 or 14 ever. You talk about Southern Ave, you look up, we got Central Capital, you look up, we got Riverside, we got, there's so many teams that's capable of winning the championship. And so just to get by round one in our division is a big accomplishment.
What challenges, in your opinion, does it bring knowing that you have to see the same team twice in a year?
I was the scariest game I did. Everybody doesn't look at it like I do. One thing you don't ever want to do when it's on the line, play the same team that you beat. I think what worked in our favor when we beat them there, the game was back and forth in the top. We struggled stopping them sometimes, and they struggled stopping us. And it's funny because one of the kids that was sitting up here was hauled off and put in the ambulance. And he was a very instrumental part of what we do. So I'm down to 17 players on the entire side. And we're trying to figure out how we can finish the game, who we can sub. And we looked up after halftime, the kid comes out the ambulance with his pants on, and he's on the sideline. He's out there in the court, and I'm like, man, he can't play, he got to play too. When he runs on the field without permission, when we look up and we got to play, we create a film, he puts a front up, and he don't go to the touchdown. No, you have to really be there to see it. This really happened in front of my baby. And that moment of that game, 17 players, I said to myself, we had about 5 things. That's all. I said, this team might go. I could come off from the 3-2, all the game, I said, this team will.
Fast forward next week. Walk me through the Riverside game. Give me some key takeaways that you took from that game to implement this offseason.
A couple of things. One, I knew we needed to get stronger. They had athletes like we did. Their front line was strong. Brent said, he said he had, that's the first time he ever told me, coach, he is literally strong. I knew then that we needed to come back and get it. Two, we had to go back and show the on-field thing on the film. We really got to do, really got to be quick. Because the guy that defended him, he took the ball, he did a good job. They made sure he wasn't getting outside, and they made sure he wasn't on the inside. So what we needed to do was make sure he was getting rid of the ball much quicker and relying more on the passing of them. They wasn't going to let the ball go. But you know, what people don't understand, at halftime, it was a 6-point ball. They were only up 13-6. We had a play where we missed it, which could have gone for a touchdown. But we actually could have gone in time at halftime. And the only reason I feel like they went up to the 7-6, they scored that touchdown late before the half. It was a trick play that allowed the tackle in the slot. And they ran the tight end. And he was covered by Mike, who was just a kid with him. That's how he went up.
Okay. Walk me through these next couple of weeks as we gear up for the season. We've already started fall camp. We've got no scrimmage the following week, and then you got Jamboree the following week. Walk me through these next few weeks of, I guess you could say, adapting to the heat, or in this case, you might be in the gym come Monday because of what's going on outside. Getting back to the flow of things, knowing that kids have to adapt back to school. And then just walk me through these weeks because you've seen similar years in the past.
Well, this week was our first week of school. We started Tuesday. And I knew Tuesday would be struggle because the full day of school was like, the thing that, and I knew it going in, so I didn't really ride it too hard because I told them it would be a bad game. And you know, it's crazy, it really turned out to be a really, really good day. And we made it through the first day. But you know what's funny? Differently from a lot of people, our practices don't start at 5:30.
Okay.
Most of my coaches come in see people. And so, for me to get everything out of my coaches, to get everything out of my kids, I have to make sure they're good. And it works out perfect because we don't play a 3 o'clock game. All of our games start at 7 o'clock. So the body temperature of practice is very, very similar to the body temperature of the game. So we're not playing, well, a lot of things happening in heat. Our teams don't even stay outside because when they put the measurement out there, they got to go inside or do something different anyway. So, but most importantly, we had a really good week. We started getting little illnesses around the campus. So I gave them all time to them all the fluids in their body, get mentally ready, prepare themselves for school, take care of whatever they needed to do. Because we don't have a school, next week will be a full week of practice. So it worked out perfectly. If the weather changes and we're able to go outside, we're going to be able to work a little bit on the rest of the week and a little bit of the pool at the same time without having to worry about playing the script. I've never played a script since I've been a coach, partially because I only had 18 players. But I didn't want to really play in the script. I almost didn't want to play it down the week. But, this year, the roster has gone. The kids said, we have had a great influx of middle schoolers and a couple of sophomores that came out and played. Our roster was up to about 35. So I had to go back and figure out how to practice.
Participation this summer has been incredible.
Oh, it's been incredible. I'm the only, me and another kid were the only ones that didn't get to go. June 3rd to June, July 3rd. But we have
With the success that a year ago brought, you saw more interest.
more interest, more kids attracted to the program, more kids moving in. When you win, the opportunity to play a sport at Hamilton is much earlier than high school. Our school becomes attractive. When your culture is that based on God, we preach and teach that, it becomes attractive with the generation in society. We have small schools, small class size, and it's attractive to parents to give their kids an opportunity not only academically, athletically, but they get an early start. We don't practice for JV, we put them in the ball. Now this year I will be able to play a couple of JV players. I got some JV players, and I'm going to do that. And so you got to think about it. Bro. A year ago, I'm just trying to keep 20 people on the line.
Correct.
This year, I only got 6 listed seniors on this roster. They're about 35. Everybody coming back. This group we saw something. I didn't even see you without coming back. And, of course, you have a ball. You have a ball. Man, all these kids that are juniors since the beginning, I can't believe he's getting them to get what this year.
And I'm sure it's very important to create a family atmosphere.
This is what you probably went through in your high school. I know it's what I went through in my high school. Our president of the school board said it openly. This is as close as a family school as you're going to find in this neighborhood. Kids care for each other, as you saw me. They're going to do for each other. The parents will, as they call me the Godfather, I fuss all day every day about every minute program. To the point where they just say, I don't even hear a coach fussing when you do it. I don't know if they understand the magic, the method to the madness, but it's like, even the new kids that I have been programming them all summer on how to be a student, not how to be an athlete. Okay, you have to be a certain way. You have to see things in a different way than you student for you.
Let's go to this question here. Players off to other sports as soon as football ends, including yourself, Coach. You're off to another sport. So how soon did you get back to football-related things? How soon did you get back to work when it came to football?
After basketball, well, this is what's so easy. People think it's so difficult. I have the greatest assistant coach that are loyal and dedicated in all the sports than anything that came out of it. I could be a practice or not be a practice when you're going to be down to the break because a lot of the guys that's out there are spending on the clean ball for putting in the step.
Right.
My son will be my assistant basketball coach. whole time here. So you wonder, our administrator, that goes through. So finally, I started working on football. The football season ended, even at the beginning of basketball. So they kind of correlate each other. Now, with him as the basketball coach, but he handles all those things which allow me to start preparing all students for football at the beginning of the season. And then if you're an athlete, then you're going to be track. So down which everyone called her name. She got practice. And she is tough in mind, what they expect of her. They've seen the result. So year round, I'm working in all sports. Even as a coach, with basketball.
Wrapped up summer, in your opinion, because of the high attendance, did this group win the summer?
They won the summer. They won the summer. This group won the summer. They really did. The commitment that they won the summer. They were the confidence.
What was your biggest emphasis this summer?
Getting stronger and being in the best shape. Guess what? We did both of them. The crazy thing about it, the best shape comes from when they have 20 good. Now, true story. I have a two-man depth chart on both sides of the ball. Never had it where, this guy here will go here. So the numbers do which allow us to change our plan. We actually have live inside. We've never had it. So we got good players on the defense side. And our offensive line. So we make it better.
Comparing where we were to a year ago, you feel like you guys are right on track or a little bit ahead of schedule?
I think we right where we need to be. Right where we need to be right now. We still have to grow in the line. We're not going to win unless I'm winning. We nobody can stretch the guard. But we want to be able to run like that to the right side. We focus on body line, other people doing that one. So I don't know anything. I don't know what it said, but I'm smart enough to know that's where the eye is. I got time to know that. So I need the defenses to play us down. Because when we're here, we're there. So everybody helps you to get the defense. So looking forward to it.
Coach, what are your core principles on both offense and defense?
My core principle, which I also put into my mentally, is everybody put their time on something. You can't be beat. I put it to you like I did how I used to do it. You may not do it today. You remember the lock ball, we remember that. The mental aspect and the mental focus. But even when you are here, you believe you can do whatever you say.
Do you build your scheme around your players or make players fit your system?
You know, this year for a young offensive line, I sat back and I met with my offensive coordinator, Sam. And I told him, I said, this is where we are at this point. We're going to build based on what we have, which means we may have to alter some of the things that we've done in the past until we strengthen our weaknesses. So I build my system around the players I got. And the players that I have make me build my system and always be our offensive line.
Offensive line will be the position group you think needs to take the biggest leap?
They're going to take it too. They're going to take it.
How much do opponent tendencies shape your scheme week to week?
Their tendency of what their strengths are on the defense or offensive side tells us what we need to do more on offense than defense. On defense, we have a scheme of things that we do that's not really difficult. It's really an attack style on the defensive side. I don't want to, and part of the Yeah, I came over the defensive team. I had so many playing offense that had to turn around and play defense. But if you got all your kids thinking on offense because you're running this and then you got to come think on defense, at some point, though, the fatigue is going to wear on. So on defense, I minimize that thinking so that Coach Sanders can do it a little bit more because you got all these exotic things like that. So I just kind of let him do his thing and I minimize the thinking on defense.
How often do you use motion and what does it help you diagnose?
Well, last year we really didn't use a lot of motion. I was kicked off with the OC. And that's one of the things that I emphasized more was, although we know most people run players in the game, we need to see how they move their defense based on how our movement. So this year, let me see a little bit more motion. A little bit more motion.
Jamboree, what do you want to see from your team that day?
I want to see my younger kids, I'm calling them, see how they handle being under the lights in the high school game situation. I'm not going to Jamboree to win a game. I'm going to Jamboree to see and get reps from kids that normally wouldn't get reps in the regular season. This is an opportunity where we're going to see a lot of kids who project to play. We're going to get an opportunity. I know about it. We can watch some acting, but it's not what it is. So it'll give me a chance to see some other things from other people. We want to see if the scheme that we're going to use this year is going to work. It's going to work. What is the opportunity?
Your ideal tempo of a game?
For us, tempo fast. Fast pace.
At this time, if you could introduce your 2025 coaching staff.
Offensive coordinator, Sammy Knight. Sammy's been with me forever. Defensive coordinator, Brandon B.J. Thomas. His dad and I grew up in like a summer. Played ball for me with the semi-pro River Cats. Defensive line coach, Joseph Alexander. Offensive line coach as well. Co-offensive line coach is Donovan Henderson. D-line and O-line, he played for me as well. Secondary coach is also Brandon Thomas, the defensive coordinator. Our quarterback coach this year, first year here, was my quarterback for the River Cats, Alvin Bartee. The guy that makes the operation work for us is a graduate of Hamilton. His name is Jimmy Griffin. He played ball here, graduated here. I know he's in year 10, so he's been with me the whole time. And of course, the guy that does a lot for me in a lot of areas. Our running back coach, Anthony Miles. Great guy from back home, back in my way. So I have a staff of guys, and the last guy, I don't even miss him. He's our technical guy. He's also an assistant principal and administrator. So he kind of keeps the glue for the whole staff, Mark Stewart. So the state of Florida, but he played ball at St. Louis, so he comes in and he's probably the coolest, calmest coach right now. While most of the coaches, they get a little bit more attention. So I have a great staff. These guys are good.
To the practice field, you're more on the lines of high intensity reps or longer teaching periods?
Say that again?
At the practice field, are you more high intensity reps or longer teaching periods?
Combination. There are moments where I want the intensity. And then there are moments where I just want them to teach. Like this week is going to be a lot of teaching with intensity. We're going to teach, especially in the whole line. We're going to teach that with a lot of intensity. But we're going to go rep after rep after rep. And we did good there. And we did really good there. And I'm banking on Coach Joe and Coach Donovan getting better. And we did really good there. We're going to be really good because of all the skill set. The crazy thing about it, I have 14 of them, and I lose one, and the rest of them are 19. They're all good.
Why is body language so important from your coaching staff on a Friday night?
Well, for me, honestly, some of them don't have enough body language. Sandy, though. The rest of them, some of the coolest coaches in the world, they don't come. They stay in the control. Whereas Coach Sandy and Michelle, we high energy guys. And, I have to calm Coach Sandy down sometimes and let him focus. But he's done a great job. But the rest of the coaches on the sideline are more calm. They don't get out of hand. They stay in control. And I don't know if you knew that. They're so calm that we want sportsmanship around here in Southwest Louisiana. The referee thinking that our kids had the best class of sportsmanship of all the teams in the world. That was big for him to me because I'm big on what other people see us, their perception of us, and of course the official. I'm a former official, so I want to always be able to respect the officials the way I want to respect.
If you would like to talk about any upgrades that's happening or fundraisers that wrapped up or gonna happen or boost the club?
Well, we got a big fundraiser coming up. It's going to be a big barbecue dinner sale. That'll be our first fundraiser. The other thing we have, our parents of the entire athletic department is going to. We have a concession stand in McNeese, so we'll be working it. And at the end of the season, hey, go McNeese. We need you to win all games. We need the stadium packed because we get a certain percentage of the concession stand that we work. Okay, so and other than that, we have some other people that donate. When you say fundraising, it's hard to do it for football because the football players or the basketball players or the baseball players or the track players. So you're asking the same parent.
Yes.
So you gotta be very cautious how to do it because in the private school you self-support. So we get sponsorship from the businesses in the area. We have the showdown in the lake basketball tournament. We make it work.
Yeah.
We make it work, and I try not to get my parents to do so much because you paying what you pay for tuition, and the way the cost of living is right now.
That's it.
You gotta find ways and means to make this thing work. And by the grace of God, my principal, myself, and a lot of other people have really found a way to make it work. And that's without FEMA money coming in and upgrading facilities. And it's sad because you can't give it in one area and then not give it in the other area if the hurricane affected the same place at the same time. We should have gotten our stuff at the same time. And for whatever reason we haven't. I don't know if anybody of importance. They just need to come tour the facilities to see what we've had a school, what we do in this school and the facilities we have, and see if they can step in. Recently, the principal throughout the hurricane worked on being an accredited school. We are now accredited by Carnegie. The kids that have that. We just started our new STEM program. The guy, after 1 year of this program, when you graduate, if you go through it, you're going to have something that will go to LSU if that's the school you choose. So even in the downgraded facilities, we're still mentally upgrading our school in the academic area. The athletic area is here. Academically, we're growing. We're becoming more attractive as a school, not just a sports school. A lot of people just think, I don't really think of sports, but I can assure you, we got kids that are going to go up to college and never touch a sport ever again and be very successful.
Absolutely. What's the most difficult thing you had to overcome a year ago?
That's a good question. What was the most difficult thing? Probably lack of seating. Because being the only guy on campus, only football coach on campus, you do it all.
Right.
So having to make sure and manage not only the football, but as the AD manage the basketball, the track, the volleyball. And it wasn't as hard because again, you get competent people that see your vision, then it makes it real simple. But basically, that was it, man. I'll tell you another thing. When Skylar got hurt, the kid killed him. came to my office, my strong safety. He said, I'm going to move to offensive guard. This kid played offensive guard the rest of the year and safety. It was his first year playing positional football. That is an awesome achievement for a young man.
What's one area of execution that this team has to improve to maybe flip a game or two next year, or this year?
It's going to have to happen in the trenches. Everything with us is going to be the trenches. We just got to, I told you, we had a staff meeting this morning, and it was all about the trenches. It was all about how you coach the trenches. It was all about you intensifying the trenches. It was all about you correcting everything that they do. Because we're going to be as good as they are.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to be able to extend play because we got one of the best athletes in the state. You know, without a doubt, Devon is one of the best in the state.
Absolutely.
And I always tell him, had he ever focused on being a quarterback, he'd be the number one dude, great quarterback in the state of Louisiana. I don't care whether it was Elijah had done him or the kid at Emmanuel. He can throw the ball as well as they can throw it. One thing they can't do, they can't run the ball. He's different.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it's a little late for that now, you know, because that wasn't the position he wanted to play. He wanted to be a wide receiver. You know, I had to psychologically make him say, what if nobody could throw you the ball? Then how good are you as a wide receiver? I said, listen, we're going to put the ball in your hand every play. We're going to need you to lead us and make the right play or the plays that's part of it. 3,700 all-purpose yards, passing and throwing and running back returns and playing on the defense again. Best athlete in the state of Louisiana, but they don't have one better than him. He is the number one athlete in the state of Louisiana.
And you got him for 2 more years.
Man, some days I wish I could send him out of here packing right now. But then, you know, he and I have been together since 6th grade. Almost like one mom. You know, we ready. He looked like he's been here for 15 years. And some days I'm ready for him to go on to the next level because of his athletic maturity. And some days I wonder how he's going to be with me. So that's why I've been building the team for the future right now. Because he's going to lead, but we're not going to lead. We're going to still be Hamilton Christian. We're the culture of football that we've created. So yeah, I'm excited about the season, man. I'm excited about everything we are doing. I'm excited more that at a little old school like we are, having a fight has opened up the door for other kids to be recruited. That has always been my dream. To always have a kid that can attract people to help other people. We did it in Operation. We did it. And all the Power Five were coming to see that. That year, I'll never forget. There was about 12 kids that signed scholarship to go play football because everyone on the team, every college, back then it's different, was coming to watch.
Right.
So, you know, that's what I like to create, what I used to be a part of.
Coach, how do you measure success outside of just what a scoreboard says?
What the people in the stands say about you after you win or you lose. That's what's more important. Because you're going to win or you lose. Or we're going to let the game of winning and losing change who we are. And that's one of the things I emphasize to my team more than anything. We're never going to let people find something bad to say about us in a win. I get it with the win part because I say you're supposed to. When we lose, we're going to act the same way. So we want to be the same people winning. We don't want sports to change our integrity or our character.
Do you celebrate small wins to keep morale and focus high?
No.
No.
I don't celebrate nothing. I mean, you still got to get better.
There you go.
I don't want my kids to ever think a win is that important. I do have my little moments. I think the most I've ever celebrated was last year was when we beat Grand Lake. There's so many other things outside this moment. And that was a game that we wasn't predicted to win. We wasn't predicted to win a lot of games last year. And that Grand Lake game was at home. And, they had beat us the year before, and they ran the score. I mean, they drummed us the year before. And a lot of these kids on the team, Nobody gave us a chance. I tell you what, we woke some people's eyes up. But then we went to practice the following week, and we beat them up even more because we still made it. We go to the film and we found all the wrong, not the good.
Yeah.
And look, I'm sitting there watching all these spectacular plays, and I'm coming to practice, and I'm like, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you got to get better at this, you know. So, and they looking at me like, man, Coach, we just, you know, we did. We got to make a game.
Describe an unsung hero and who could take on that role this year.
This year, the unsung hero is going to be a kid who set out all of last year.
Ian?
Huh?
The guy that was sitting on me?
No, not him. There's another kid who was a freshman. He injured his knee. Wasn't even scheduled to be a basketball player, but he was playing middle school ball. The last middle school game, he messed his knee up. And he set out the entire year freshman. He's come back, he's rehab, and his name is Paul Petrie. He's going to play defensive end in our scheme. And when I tell you, he has I looked at him one day in practice and said, boy, you got a chance to be the MVP of this district. So I'm looking for things from him, and if he's good enough, it makes our defense that much better.
Okay. What small details in preparation matter the most for a Friday night?
What you do throughout the day at school, so that no teacher's got to come tell me about your behavior. Because, you know, football players on game, they don't think they have a school. So I stay focused on that. And are you where you're supposed to be according to the schedule? I'm very detailed about the schedule after school, pre-game, and everything. Because if we get off of that, I'm going crazy. I don't think we can win the game. Because I'm just kind of OCD with the detail and everything.
What's the most important thing a team has to do in the beginning of a game?
Mentally focus. I need to see your eyes. And like you looking in space, and the only thing mattering at that moment is that game.
Halftime approach. Walk me through that process.
Kids go in the locker room. I don't want to say it on live where I go. I go around the corner, and the coaches get together. And after I have my little power hit, my little whatever, I come, talk to the coaches based on what I've seen. Let them go correct the offensive thing. I go and basically correct the defensive thing. And then afterwards, I give them that halftime talk. Sometimes I'm blowing my top. Sometimes I'm blowing my top. And sometimes I'm blowing my top. You know, when they come out of it, and, you know, I'm sure they're looking at me. We may be up. I may still be blowing my top. And so the relationship that I have with the kids allow me to be there.
Yeah.
And it makes them, I'm sure, a little strategy to this thing. They sometimes, man, my coaching man tell me, Coach, you be tripping. No, I'm not. I need them to think I be tripping. They all don't think I'm tripping. I just need them to continue to think they got to do better than what they do.
Right. Let's go to the third thing of a game. So we talked about the beginning. We talked about halftime. Let's go to what do you look for from your leaders in those final minutes?
The final minutes of the game, it depends on who you're playing or even not. One thing I look for them to be leaders in a manner where we're not boastful, we're not being braggadocious, we're not poking at the opposing team, that we're being respectful and mannerable of the people we're playing. I don't like pop talk, and I tell them all the time, we're going to respect our opponent, regardless of how they see us. That's not the Christian way, that's not my way. Because I know how to win, and I know how to win, and we're not going to play for it.
How do you get your players to understand not just what to do, but why they are doing it?
Oh, it's very simple. You got to come to the locker room one day. Number one, for God. You know, it's a good thing about us, we can spiritually talk about it at any time at this school. And we can give situations where you either can follow God's will or don't, and we can show you examples of both. And we want to always give all the glory to Him and not to the individual. Because we want God to keep blessing the school community and the kids and giving them opportunity so that they can make it in life, not in football, in life. So that's where I come in, because I'm more of a life coach. I can let you know I can been doing long enough, but I'm more talking to you more about what you're going to face in life after football.
How rewarding is it when it clicks for a player on a Friday night?
Oh, now that part we're going to see we celebrate. When I see someone that it's hard because you put in the work with a kid and all of a sudden he does it exactly the way you do it. And I told that to the coaches this morning. I said, Coach, you can always, anybody can teach an A student. Nobody got to coach Yvonne right. You just got to coach him into doing everything else right, off the field, in the classroom. I said, you want to be a good teacher? Take an F student and make him a C student, and take a B student and be a B student. That is the gratifying part of coaching and teaching. Is when you take this kid and get him from here to there. That's why I do. Taking the kids that nobody thought and coming around and we're bringing them here. We got several of them like that.
How much freedom do you give your players to make adjustments on the field?
You know what? Believe it or not, I do believe some of the time they make their own, call their own plays or make their own plays. And, you know, especially when you got Vital back there, the ball goes to his hand. I mean, if this cat sees something, or you look over at Chris, or you look over at him, you know, I don't even know if we have all of them. I think he just changed it just through eyesight, you know. But, you know, I give them free reign. You know, don't blow it. Just make the right play. But when you've been around the same person for a long time, coaches, we got that relationship that we trust, you know, make the right play.
What's the difference between a team who works hard and a team that competes every day?
A team that works hard and a team that competes every day. A team that works hard, and it kind of similar because the harder you work, the more competitive you will become. The team that competes the hardest normally is the team that's going to come out on top. Hard work makes talent, but you got to have the competitive spirit. If you could work as hard as anybody in the world, if you don't have that competitive spirit, and you're playing someone that has it, it doesn't matter how hard you work, you're still going to get pushed around. You got to know how to compete. And I think this is what makes Hamilton Christian different. Because our kids have been trained and programmed to line up because of basketball. Because we've always played a big schedule of school to be able to compete against anybody, no matter where they go.
How do you emphasize finishing blocks and playing through the whistle?
Well, Grant Menard, we just pull up the tape and show him Grant Menard, the kid on the other end that don't really answer a lot of questions. He'll block you to the whistle. You may end up on the ground with a pancake, or you may almost end up on your sideline. That's how we emphasize it. Now, what we need to happen now, we need everybody to do what Grant does. Yeah. If everybody does what Grant does, you know, our focus is getting our kids to engage and stay engaged. And I think if we could do that, it gives us enough room for Vital. He doesn't need a lot if he's going to run the ball. But we teaching him to stay, even our wide receivers, we're teaching them now how to get off the line, whether it's a pass route or run block, and get that in the engage. That's a big focal point of our practice.
What's the key to winning third down and getting off the field on third down?
The key to winning third down is to make sure it's third and middle. You know, you can't be first and second, and third and 10 is always going to be tough in high school. A lot of teams don't pass the ball as effective in our district. I mean, just period. You know, you got to be able to get positive yards on first and second down, so you can go to your playbook and have a second and five, third and five play, third and fourth play. They're a whole lot easier to get when you're back there and you got a kid that can run and make plays throwing the ball and make plays running.
What does a prepared team look like beyond just knowing what the plays are on a Friday night?
Confident. The way they warm up, the way they come out that locker, the way they warm up in pregame, and when they come out the sheet to run to the sideline. You watch those three, you'll understand.
Okay. What's your favorite part of a Friday night football game, before, during, or after?
If anybody said anything other than after the game, but only if you win. No, my favorite part of the game is the beginning. It sets the tone. How we come out, the coach's intensity, how the players communicate with each other. It's kind of like if you go back and watch Carl run our song, and nobody's going to have to do one like that. But if you see that kind of mentality on the sideline, it makes you feel like you're great.
What lessons do you hope your players take with them long after the pads come off?
Just do the right thing. Just learn here. You learn to do the right thing off the field. When you leave here, just do what's right. And we preach that to our kids all the time. We don't want you to be better than anybody, but we want you to be different because you came to Hamilton and you were given some opportunity and you were given those long Coach Washington talks about this and that. I tell them all the time, you're either going to come back and thank me or you're going to come back and say, I wish you would have listened. Because we preach to them more about life lessons than I do about coaching. I got coaches. I need my kids to go out and represent me in life.
Who helped shape your own leadership to be able to pour into these kids?
Eddie Robinson. I was equipment manager once I injured my back in Grambling. I went there to play basketball and I got hurt. It was funny because Dennis Mayo, who knock on wood, is deceased today, and a lot of the local Lake Charles guys, Francis Washington, when I got to Grambling as a freshman that summer, all those football guys were there because Dennis was my cousin. I hung out with him. He was a junior or senior, and I hung out with him, so I was a fast learner. But I had an opportunity to go work as the equipment manager with Coach Rob. When I tell you the lessons I learned from him and the lessons I teach, there's no one better than Eddie Rob if you're in the locker room with, if you're on the sideline with. Then I give a lot to that to my high school coaches because the way I am at Hamilton with the kids in the high school level is the way they were with us. They were our family, they were our dads, because our parents were out working to make a living. We relied on our coaches. And I had a great home. I come from a great home. But my father had to make ends meet. So we relied on our coaches for the direction and leadership. And I think what happened back then, our parents didn't mind our coaches being fathers to their kids. I think it's a little bit different now. I think sometimes parents think coaches trying to take over. We're not. It's hard work, but if I'm going to spend 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock with your kid, I can assure you, I'm going to spend more time with him than you are. I'm not trying to take over. I'm going to try to be an extension of what you expect from me. That's a lot of hard work, man. You know, I could get off practice, go home and cut my phone off, and I don't have to answer the phone, but I choose to do it the way it was done.
What's been the most rewarding part of coaching high school football?
Watching the successes of my kids off the field. They haven't been the winning a football game. They haven't been the champions. My championship come when kids come back with their family, come back showing the way they're working, and telling me, thank you for being a big part of my life. You know, I look at some of the kids the other day, my son included, the group he came up with when I first kind of got to Lake Charles. Back then, I was at a school called Sacred Heart County, and it was similar to Hamilton. The difference back then was I could use the pattern. And they posted something on Facebook and had me laughing because it was about the pattern. They were talking about how soft they were. They were bringing up all the stories of Coach Washington pattern, and we laugh at it. But those kids talk about it all the time. I help them to do right. If you didn't sneeze wrong, you have to get a You know, that's just the way I was, man. So
As we gear up for another football season, what are you most excited for and what are you most proud of from this year's group so far?
the hard work and the time and the effort they put in. What am I more excited for? The opportunity they have in front of them to be able to say we did it the same way but better than we did last year. I just want them to, in that senior class, I want them to go out. I don't want it to be at a one-year bump. I want it to be a culture building that fear the nation, whether we win or not. But it's almost like this. Every time you play Hamilton, you're going to have to line up and be prepared. Whether we 9th graders, 10th graders, or what. Because of the kid, or more important, because of the staff of guys that I have around me, and the intensity that my kids will play.
What's the message to the alumni, to the community?
Well, we don't have any home games, so please come out and support us on the road, support the Road Warriors. You know, come by and check the school out, come by and check the kids out. The alumni didn't grow up in this kind of school. The school was better. Come back, see what you can give back to the school, what you can give back to the kids. They represent Hamilton Christian. No matter what, whoever they are, they're gonna represent the same school you graduate from. And as it happened when we went to the Dome in basketball and we won a state championship, I seen more people I didn't know that went to Hamilton show up.
Yeah.
You know, everybody likes to win. You know, just be supportive of our school community.
Coach closes out today with the quote of the day.
That's a good one. I've never been caught off guard like that. Suit up, show up, and show out. Warrior Nation, 4 quarters in your face. You won't be denied.
There you go. Final words, Coach, as we get ready to close this one.
Listen, man, just thank you for coming into the Lake area, first of all. You know, I've always followed the show. I watch the predictions. I know Chris Esprit from Operucci. Always kind of sneak in and watch the show, whether it's at 4 in the morning to see. You guys have done a tremendous job. But coming into the Lake area has opened up some doors for us in the Lake area. Because football is really big. I mean, it's really big. Mm-hmm. And the more we can get you guys out here attracted to our community, whether it's LeGrand, or College Prep, or Ball, or St. Louis, or Sulphur, or Wesley, all the schools are LeGrand in our area, football could begin to grow because not only is football competitive today, schools are competitive, but fans are competitive. Social media has enlightened the entire world where everybody competing with everybody comparing with everybody. You know, this one is, you know, if we just all get on one page for the common cause of these kids, no matter where they're from, no matter what school they go from, and support them, there's a lot of things that we probably can clean up in our community that's not safe for them. But if we're divided and not supporting one another, then we grow up divided, and we have so many different things going on. You know, so Hamilton Christian is going to support every school in Calcasieu Parish. We're not in competition with any of them. We got who we got, and we're going to do the best thing that we can do with what we got. But we're going to support any team from Calcasieu Parish that have an opportunity to make it. We're going to support them because they represent Calcasieu Parish.
Coach, thank you for the opportunity.
Hope I didn't keep you too long. Tars, he's on his way, man. I'm sorry. You know, it's always different at the nation now. We want to come in and come get out. But it's just something about being at Hamilton to keep you just a little bit longer than you're supposed to.
There you go.
I appreciate it, Joe.
Coach, good luck this year, my man. We'll see you in the fall.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. God bless you. The nation.